Hello, Sim friends. I have a fall inspired house, and this is of a challenge by Lake Crew without using orange. So, so here is my version of a fall inspired house. I used a red roof in place of orange, and I used walnut, which is a fall color. I looked it up. um, and then I used the walnut fencing and then a brown the garage door. This house has a lot of browns and greens, which are also fall the colors. And then here is like a weather machine in the basement. And then I made a garage on the left hand side. And then here is the entryway. I used the brass or bronze fall wreath, and then here's the garage. I have a laundry room in here with the green, like the washer, dryer, and then a walnut doors all throughout the house, and then these rugs, these brown and cream white rugs, I got in an online pack. I had used the green, the couches, and then some green wall hangings. And then as you can see, there's walnut all throughout the house. And the coat rack does have an orange coat on it. So I kind of failed there, but and then here is the kitchen. These are the mahogany cottage, the countertops. And then I use the walnut, the retreat stools. And then here is the walnut heritage, walnut heritage, the table and chairs. And then I used a walnut drinks cart. And then I have a TV and a fireplace. The fire is orange. Fail. This was a pretty difficult to challenge within the Sims, but that's why it's called a challenge. And then I made a grilling area out back. The tree I got in an online pack. The tree with the swing was from an influencer island, I believe. I have a toddler slide and then a hot tub with some gray lounge chairs. And then here is the stairway. I use the walnut, the botanical stairs. And the flooring is the dark nautical, the flooring. And then here is the hallway with the stairs. And then I put and then in the main hallway, I have a painting with greens in it. And then a walnut shelf. And then here is the first bedroom. It has a twin bed and a kid's closet. And then the countertops are the festive pine countertops. That lamp is red, but it looks orange when when it's turned on, but it's really a red lamp when it's turned off, and that is from an online pack. But I have the lamp turned on, so it's orange. And then here is this room, and this is staged for a toddler. I have that bed that I got in an architect home, and the oak toddler hanging rack, and then a green train, and a dresser, and then the table. And that table and chair was from an online pack, or not from an online pack. It's from an architect home, I believe. or an LP house. I can't remember. Then here is an office. The painting does have orange in it. Couldn't help that. And then I have the dark bookshelf, and then the filing cabinets, and then the book stack, and the printer is from an online pack. And then here is this bedroom. It has a twin bed I got in an online pack. These are the pine Blanco the countertops. I hung up some lights, and then that blue lamp is from an online pack. And then a closet item from the Captivating Coast. Here is the bathroom, and again with the downstairs. Then here is a bathroom. I have walnuts in here, and then the black shower. I think it's the chalet shower, and then the bathtub, and then a walnut shelf, and then some robes and a towel hanger. And then here is this bedroom. I have the walnut ranch bed. And then these countertops are the countertops. And then I have a wardrobe here with some wall hangings. Then here's an extra wall hanging. I tried to use wall hangings that don't have any orange in it, but it was kind of hard. So, but it was a fun build. This was a really fun build. I like the challenge. So, Lake Crew, great challenge. And then here is the layout of where I placed everything. And then this also gives you an idea of the room layout. This was an L-shaped room, obviously. And kind of you can see where I placed everything as well. And then that tree that I got in an online pack, I love that tree. I've used it in an architect home, the remodel, and I used it in this build. And then here is the layout of the upstairs. And I wish that red lamp did not look orange, but it does. And then so that is the layout of the land. And then here is the grid in case you want to build this home. It was a very simple build. Usually my builds are. And you can kind of pause it and see. But it's kind of hard to show the grid all at once, in this frame. But, I try my best, and that is all you can do. But as I said, this is a very simple build. And this challenge was very fun. It was a challenge to not find orange, but walnut kind of looks like a winter color, but it's saying it's fall. So, hey, if it says this fall is fall, that's all there is to it.